Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Peter Goes Rogue. Well, we're going rogue today. We're in my Porsche Cayman GTS 981 generation. We're going to go for a spin. Now, you may or may not see some other footage I've done which was a bit problematic, because this camera that I'm now filming on, which is the right camera, was unfortunately giving me some problems, and we had some issues where I got to be honest, I thought the battery was going to be giving us some real nightmares. It wasn't just dead. Anyway, I've got it charged up now, so I thought this was the right moment. Now, the sun is a bit low, it's a bit late in the afternoon, it's late September, so let's see what we can do. So I'm going to talk you through. I'm going to assume that you don't see the other footage, so if there's anything that I repeat myself on. Blind corner there. That wasn't a very good start, I've got to say. Wow, well that wasn't the intended start. It's a really blind corner, very dangerous, and I pulled out and this car could fly back around the corner. So that was the problem there. Anyway, we're on the move now, so we're okay. Now I've got the windows open so you can hear the full effects of the sound from the exhaust, which is actually quite important in this car. Dodgy bit of road here. So yeah, it's a bit noisy, but that's only because I've got the windows open, so a lot of wind noise you can hear is kind of just because of that. So we're going to have a little bit of a run in the sun. Now we're currently in standard mode. Civilized mode, you might call it. Put it into automatic, and it goes very, very quiet. So I'll just shut the windows and I'll let you hear this. We're on a bit of a dodgy bit of road here, so I need to take it easy anyway. Very dodgy, in fact. It's horrible. Horrible is a better word. But you can hear the bits flicking up. It's so broken. This surface is terrible. But it's very quiet when you drive it at fairly tame speeds, you know. Into the 30 zone in a second anyway, so we need to behave ourselves, you know. So just to remind you, this is a 3.4 litre engine, and here we are now. We're going to be doing 30, so you give you an idea of how relatively civilized it really is. So that's actually 31, so that's actually 30. It says 31, it's actually 30. It exaggerates by about 1.5 miles per hour on this particular car. I've checked that with GPS. You can see at a sensible sort of urban speeds, it's very, very quiet, despite the appalling road surface that we're now finding ourselves on. It really is very, very tame and very calm. We've got the full suspension system. We've got the Porsche PASM, Porsche Adaptive Suspension Management System. Now we're coming out of the 30 zone, and I'm going to go into sport mode. Put the window down a bit for you. Now it gets a little bit more brutal. And give you a bit more of a flavour of what the car's all about, really. But it's a very adaptable car. It can be a sort of long Grand Tourer, it can be proper full-on sports car, you know, long-distance cruiser, whatever you really want, to be honest, within reason. I'm going to turn right here because I know there's some horrible roadworks the other way. We don't want to get involved with those at all. But you can hear the engine note is pretty. As close as you get to on the road, a bit like a GT3 RS, but it has this much nicer road going ability than the 911, I think. I'm not speaking about all the 911s, that's probably a bit too harsh. Or a Tesla, or Death Trap as we call them now. The beauty of this car is it's very, very well balanced. Of course, it's mid-engined. the engine's right behind my back, and a bit like a Formula 1 car, really. You know, if you think of a Formula 1 car, it's exactly where they put the engine behind the driver, don't they? Just behind it. Whereas at the 911, it's right at the back, and they have a lot of clever trickery and electronic controls on the new cars, which gives it traction control, stability management, all that kind of thing. Porsche vectoring control, all sorts of stuff. It's very clever stuff, don't get me wrong, it's brilliant. I've driven it, but I jumped out of my car, I did a sighting lap at the Anglesey circuit. Now this wasn't a proper track day, it was like it was an invitation from the local dealer. It was like a gentleman's day out on the track, just to try it out, you know, a taster session. But I've got a lot of experience in track days, and I just took it steady, very steady indeed. Gentle, really, very gentle. But then they actually let me have a run in the very latest Porsche Carrera S, I think it was. And of course I jumped into that, and then he didn't tell me he put all the traction control off. And I almost spun it. I didn't spin it, but I came very close. I got a real fishtail back end coming out, you know, tank slapper basically, coming onto the main straight. And the reason was, of course, it's completely different to this car. This car's got the engine and all the masses right in the centre. Even the brakes are inboard. Sorry, not inboard in terms of across the car, but in terms of the way they position the calipers. They position at the back. And the front wheel it's back, and the back wheel it's forward, trying to get all the weight to the centre. But in this Carrera, this new 911, 992, it was horrendous. It was not what I was expecting, of course. I tried to drive it like I do with this, and instantly I almost got into trouble with it. He switched off all the traction control, but didn't say. Otherwise, there'd have been a lot more respectful of it. And of course, this got me into a real pickle and gave me a right heart attack, I'll tell you. Really scared the hell out of me, to be honest. It's quite funny. I'm just going to stop here. It's a little spot where I turn around. There's a little new estate. There's a house here that's still not occupied. It's for sale. So what I'm doing is I'm just using the drive to turn around. It's a bit cheeky, but it's not like I'm insulting anybody's property, so there's nobody living here. So there we go. So anyway, as I was saying, yeah, and it's the first time that I drove a 9, and I've driven lots of 911s. I've been at the Porsche Experience Centre track days at Silverstone, and I've driven GT3 RSs and all sorts. But how about not coming over the middle of the road, you fool? But I'm just going to wait my time here a little bit. Yeah, but I've never driven the 911, the latest one, and they're heavy. And you could feel the mass was all at the back, and it felt completely different. And it didn't feel like the 991 or earlier 911s, which feel really well balanced and much lighter. It just felt like, without the electronic stability control systems, everything was at the rear, and it made it a right handful, you know. I'm sure I got used to it. I did 2 or 3 laps, can't remember. I didn't have any problems after I had this first incident, because I recalibrated my head, sort of thing. But I couldn't. The point of the story is this: it didn't have the balance of the Cayman or Boxster, because the engine's hanging out the back, and this is why in the 1980s, when they were really leery with the Porsche turbos, you get this huge boost of turbo torque that suddenly come in without warning, and if you're on a bit of a wet road in the middle of a bend or something, it would just flick the back end out. This is why they called it the Widowmaker, of course. Well, I'm not slagging off the 911. They are really supremely engineered now with all these systems that they have on them to make them very drivable. I'm just making the point that it's the attraction for me. You know, if I was to win the lottery, I wouldn't have gone out and bought a GT3 RS. I'd probably buy the GT4 RS for the same reason. That said, I wouldn't want to drive that on the road every day. It's not a road car. So that's the beauty of this car. It's the sweet spot. It's a really excellent road car. Smile, you know. Just go, you get to go in the opposite direction. Identical to our car, actually. That's amazing. It's an image of the car. And you've got all this drama and action with the sports exhaust, it gives you so much in a single car. You never really need another car, I don't think. I often say to people, if I came into money, a lot of money, I wouldn't rush out and buy another car. I mean, I might go for a Ferrari 458 Speciale, because that's another amazing vehicle. But this gives me so much of what I want in terms of the sporty, fast car. It's just hard to think of anything else that would be better. I mean, a Jaguar F-Type wouldn't be better. Even an Aston Martin, I don't like the interiors on those, although I do like the look of some of the Astons. Lotus Emira is another good one. But again, the interior, well, Lotus are in trouble, aren't they? Looks like they're going out of business, to be honest. At least where they make the Emira. I think the Emira's on its last legs, to be honest. We'll see what happens. That makes you smile. It can do so much, at a price that is not in the stratosphere. I'm getting a warning here that I'm running low on fuel, actually. I'm getting low on fuel. It says mind your remaining distance. I've got 50 miles of fuel left, so I don't think we're going to have too much longer on this run. I'm not going for fuel at the moment because it's very busy. It's coming towards rush hour. So I'm just going to pull over here, and the fact that I've been slewing the car around quite aggressively has probably got the fuel slopping away from the fuel sender anyway. But it helps it with its performance, of course. It's like a Formula 1 car on qualifying fuel. Will you stop doing that? It's kind of a bit of a glitch where it keeps on, when I put it in reverse, it bleeps as though there's an obstruction with the sensor, when there is absolutely and definitely not any obstruction. Anyway, well, that gives you a little bit of a flavour of what the car's like. You've got the three modes. You've got standard mode, as I said. Then there's this sports mode that I was in then. But there's also Sport Plus. Now in Sport Plus, it activates the PASM, firms the suspension up. You've got dynamic engine mounts on this car as well, so it firms them up. But on the road, I mean, on the track, brilliant. But on the road, no, not suitable really. It's just, the roads are just not good enough. Not around here anyway, where I live. So I tend not to ever use that. To me, that's track mode. So I never firm up the suspension, apart from just to test it occasionally, just for 5 minutes. But you've got to be on a smooth road to really get any benefit at all. You've got the sports exhaust, which you can put on and off manually. You've got the wing you can have up and down manually. Lots of control over it. It's not like one of these cars where it's this or it's that. You've got all these choices you can make, depending on how you want to drive it. You want to drive it very placidly. You're driving home from work or something, you put it all into standard mode and it's dead quiet. Exhaust is quiet, the drive is quiet, the suspension's softer. It's brilliant, It's just a really good product, and the Boxster is exactly everything I'm saying. It applies exactly to the Boxster in the same way. But it's such an adaptable little car, and it's not like anything else. I mean, I had the GT86, which was brilliant. Handling was fantastic. It was light, but it lacked grunt. It really lacked power. And the new GR86 they brought out Toyota is much better. But obviously, I graduated beyond that, being honest. So this is what I went to, and I've had it for 8 years nearly. I've never looked back, and I don't really ever, I just don't have any plan to change it. The only thing that would make me change this car would be if I got physically unable to get in and out of it, or physically unable to drive it well and enjoy it. And they are tricky to get in and out of. And this is actually a very practical car in terms of the seating and everything. It hasn't got the silly bucket seats, which I think are completely over the top. You're 21, fine, but again, on the road they're very stiff. This is the perfect road setup. It's a great car for driving hard. It's a great car for long distance journeys. It's a great car for GT touring, whatever you like, really. You can do so many things, and that's the reason I wanted it, for those reasons, and it's definitely delivered. They're a great car. The Boxster's just the same, but with even more sky and more noise. And if you go for the Spider, The Spider, I've got mixed feelings on the Spider. The Spider, I don't really like the roof, but it does look beautiful. Putting the roof up though takes 3 or 4 minutes, and if it's absolutely teeming down with rain, that's a long time. It'll take a bit less time if there's 2 of you to do it, but if you're on your own, you've got, oh, it's a nightmare. And it puts me right off, so I'd go for the Boxster really. But yeah, I mean the new Spider RS is a real monster of a thing. It's got all this bodywork and turning vanes and all sorts of things. But another interesting point, it's saying here, I've got the alarm's gone off saying you're low on fuel. Mind remaining distance. Well, it's okay, I haven't got far to go. But even then, if I drive gingerly home, which is what I'll do now, that'll go back for, it says there's 50 miles left. Well, that'll go to about 70 if I drive gingerly, because it's very economical when you go careful, you know. In terms of usability, you can use it in all weathers. I contradict that but that's just me wanting to keep it preserved, you know. I don't need to drive it in bad weather. I wouldn't enjoy it the same. You won't get the same benefit from it. This really delivers as an all-rounder if you wanted to. You could have this as your only car if you wanted to. Even the Boxster, if you could garage it, that would be hugely beneficial on that one though. But certainly a Cayman, you don't need to garage it. You know, you could keep it outdoors and it's just like any other car, but with a lot more oomph, you know. And it's got great character. Even then, when I've just been filming the video to show you guys, you can feel it do this pivoting thing. It pivots around its centre where I'm sitting. So I've got a lot of weight of the fuel. Not much weight today, perhaps. I've got the weight of the engine and gearbox behind me. You have the weight of the fuel in front of you.
Parking mode on.
Thank you. That's the dash cam, and it kind of pivots around you. Excuse me. It's a remarkable feeling, and I've not had it in other sports cars really. It's like, you know, you're dead centre of the weight, centre of mass. It's like you're standing on the middle of a turntable, or like you know, one of those children's rides where you go around. What do you call it? A roundabout thing, like a magic roundabout. Remarkable. It's a very, very enjoyable car, and it brings such a smile to your face. I've been out and looked at the newer ones, and they deliver nothing more than this delivers. Some of them are a little bit faster, but they've got other downsides. They don't sound as good. Just doesn't do it. And when you talk to people, lots of people, you see it online as well, when they comment on it, if they've ever had a 981, they always say it was the best one. And some of them have gone back to having 981s, having the newer cars, because they just don't think it feels the same. It's the sweet spot of the Porsche range, literally the Porsche range. The Boxster or the Cayman 981 is the sweet spot. It delivers so many things, it delivers on so many fronts, more than any other does. And it depends what you want. If you want visceral involvement and rewarding, a car that really makes you feel sort of alive and ticks the box of what a sports car should be, this is it, the ultimate sports car. And that's why I've kept it so long. It's not just the fact that I've got it. If I was bragging about it, I'd have bragged about it 7 years ago. But I decided to keep stum, and one of the reasons I decided to go public about it now is really the fact that the industry and the, you know, automotive industry, I should say, is changing quite a lot, and I think it's going to, it's gone past its peak now. This was the peak. I actually think cars generally peaked in about 2015, and this is a 2016, it's 2013 design, 2016 model, but around about that time, between 2013 and 2016, after that they start going super stupid. Too much automation, too much electronic control and ADAS and all this other rubbish that people don't want or need. Crackers. So there we go. So I'm going to drive home now. I'm going to give it a little bit of a run. Fortunately, this road I'm just about to set off on, it's not a great road, whereas that one was quite a good one. So I can't really get the most out of it, in truth. It's definitely a lot busier now. I'll watch myself here. Dodgy junction. So that's my limit. So it gets to 30 instantly, you know. You don't need to speed, it just gets you there very quickly. But it's just a very enjoyable thing to have, and a very beautiful looking thing as well. For me, the aesthetics are a big part of it. I love the interior. Interestingly, on Harry's garage about a year ago, he did the GT4 RS, the ultimate version of this, the new one. And he suggested that the layout of all the switches and the screen was a bit dated, and he got absolutely panned for it because, of course, it's genuinely not dated. And I was one of the people who criticised it, and I love Harry's garage. Harry Metcalf, he's a genius. I think he's the best on YouTube. But I said, Harry, it's not dated. It was peak. That's the reason that Porsche held it over into the new car, because they knew it was absolutely spot on. And you know, the feedback they had about design of the car was so positive. There's no reason to change. You don't fix what is not broken. You can hear it there, can't you? I've got a little bit of a bad bit of road here. Bear with me. This is a really horrible piece of road. I have to go down the middle of the road and then go back. So let's slow down to let the other vehicle through first. Yeah, so there you go. You get a little bit of a flavour for it there. It's only a fairly shortish drive I've gone on. I did do a longer bit earlier, but unfortunately I had major camera problems and it just didn't work out too well. I may show you some clips from that. But this is, I think the photography here is a bit better. Oh, there's some mud on the road. I don't want to get it dirty, do I? No, I do not want to get mud on the car. It's dried actually, it's much earlier today, that is. But it's just such an enjoyable experience, and I can't recommend it to people highly enough. I've driven faster cars than this. I've driven the Ferrari 458, I've driven the Lamborghini Gallardo, Aerial Atom, I've driven all sorts of things. There's nothing I'd rather have on the road than this. I would like a 458 Speciale, but that's quite a visceral car. It's quite a track car, really. All round to drive on a road, on a normal public road, at sensible speeds, this is the one. This is the one you want. So, if you really want the full experience, and if you're like me, you're not bothered about driving during the winter, and you want a proper sports car, get the Boxster. Especially if you can garage it. If you can't garage it, get the Cayman. Neither car will disappoint, I guarantee you. It's just so fluid and it just flows, you know. Just puts a smile on your face. That's it. It's a brilliant machine. The engineering as well, I'm just going to slow down coming towards the 30 zone now. The engineering on it is so good. It's a work of genius, really. And this gearbox, of course, which is part of the automatic I wouldn't go for, but PDK is a different thing altogether. It was developed for the Porsche World Endurance Championship cars in the late 80s. The PDK gearbox came out of that development program, and they basically ended up putting it in road cars to amortise out the cost of it all. What a thing it is. I mean, again, the manual gearbox, if you prefer manual, you're not into this, I absolutely understand, and the manual is amazing as well, especially if you get the auto blip. I think on the GT4 it has the auto blip, so you don't have to heel and tow. Some clever stuff, you know. Very clever stuff. There's a lot of people here who are not sticking to the 30 limit, I've noticed. You could be shooting up behind me and I'm doing 33, just creeping over there. I won't really be doing 33, I'll be doing 30. But these guys coming up behind me, SUVs, are way over the limit. I'm spinning well over 40 miles an hour. Very silly. Anyway, there we go. Thanks for joining me. Till next time, take care of yourselves.